from the shoulder across the body. My preferred ready stance, you both right-handed? So my preferred ready stance is my right foot forward and my arm back like that and my shield forward like this.
Okay.
I perform sports that way too. Most right-handed people perform martial arts with their left foot forward. You will practice both over the course of however many weeks or months it takes to figure out what's comfortable for you. So I'm going to stand like this till I like it. You don't have to.
Okay.
And I like to start with my sword back here because it keeps my arm and elbow out of range of the opponent. And the uncomfortable tension you feel doing that is all the muscles in your shoulder and connected areas tensing back to power the shot.
Okay.
In the SCA, you'll see people fight in what's called hanging guard. You'll see A-frame. John kind of fights with his arm on his sword on his shoulder, but the elbow forward. Mess around until you find your style. But the point is, the hand comes cross-body, and as it gets to the middle, it turns over, which is how the sword ends up blade edge on. You'll notice they have a stripe on them. That is the SCA's convention to show which edge is supposed to be the blade.
Right.
And a hit like this doesn't count because it's flat. For this reason, the handles are contoured to have a front and a back, like a tennis racket, because the blade itself does not travel differently based on orientation. So you have to just train yourself to have the blade, and you can, ergonomically, this comes from your knuckles. When you strike, your knuckles should be pointing perpendicular to the ground, so the blade hits the target blade on as opposed to flat. Regardless of which leg you have forward, your ready position should have your sword hip cocked back, because the power comes from your hip uncorking. Now, people say the power comes from your hips. It doesn't. The power comes from your core. The hips moving is the most visible part of this, which is a lot of words to say, push your whole body. When you finish a strike, it's the same with throwing a punch properly. When you finish a strike, you should feel your back foot pushing into the ground. And the force you're generating comes from the mass of the earth, through your body, through your weapon, into the opponent.
Okay.
If you do it with just, so if you throw it too wide, and you're throwing just elbow and shoulder into it, it will have much less power behind it, it will have much less mass behind it, it will be slower, and it'll wear out your tendons.
Right.
It sucks. But hitting stuff's more fun than talking, so since you got to do this last time, step up and hit it a couple of times. Pretty good. Don't forget to breathe. You will want to practice breathing while you strike now, because training yourself to breathe when you strike 3 years into fighting will be much harder. Ask how I know.
How do you know?
Oh, because I did. Part of why I talk so continuously when I'm teaching is to illustrate the thing about breathing. So I'm talking the whole time. So again, throw the shot like this, you throw the shot like this, you throw the shot like this. It's also forcing me to breathe.
Gotcha.
You could do it karate style, like chai. You just go. You could talk to yourself, sing songs, something, anything. Practice.
Right.
Practice breathing. Because also, you notice how I can see you not doing it?
Yeah.
If we're fighting, I'm just going to fight for 5 seconds, and you're going to be winded, and then I'm going to go for it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, it's a fundamental of athleticism. Don't do the offside yet, we'll come to that.
Gotcha, okay.
Close, but it's easier to do them in a progression. Good. Bring your hand a little bit back closer to your shoulder. It doesn't have to be all the way back. You can do it from out here, but the fist should be closer to the shoulder when you start.
Okay.
It's starting to come out here.
Gotcha.
And then you get the slower, easier to block, less powerful. Generally speaking, fucking fantastic for the first 5 minutes. Like, amazing.
All right.
Step on up. The demi-greaves, these bits are supposed to live on the outside.
Okay.
There are titanium bits inside that'll bite you.
Gotcha.
I'm ready to breathe. Yeah. Yeah. Also, we will get to the point of put on some helmets and get to whack each other. Like, we're going to do the fun stuff too. But, and I don't expect you to learn how to perfectly throw a sword shot today. We're just going to work on this every day. And like, doing it will make you better each time. Talking about it will make me better each time. Like, the basics pay really long dividends. Like the basic, like you learn the basics the first year, then you use the basics to win championships.
Yeah.
Because it's just like the fundamentals carry through. So, the offside. This is not what you were doing specifically, but this is what a bad offside does. It just takes the elbow from the onside and flips it over. No power, bad for your elbow, will eventually cause tendon damage. That's how I know. So, usually after executing the onside shot, you bring that hand holding the sword all the way back to your offside shoulder. Like all the way back here, like you're doing a tournament salute. And you've also turned your hips now all the way this way as you followed through. And then the same idea. Punch out and past it, and twist your entire body. And so once again, the back foot is digging into the ground, and the weapon's digging into the opponent's skull. Step on up. You can practice like 1, 2, or practice just the offside a couple times so it feels more comfortable. You bring it back farther. Yeah. Breathe on both. Good. Awesome. Awesome. Breathe. Slow down a little bit, and so do the first shot, and then slow down in particular on the return before you do the second one. Yes, sorry, the dust is, that's really bad. So, when you bring it back, you're bringing it back like this. If you bring it back vertically, it's blocking your face. Yeah, so like, the return comes across like this, and it's doing something much more useful.
So just kind of.
Like, you'll even feel like you're doing kind of a bob and weave thing. It comes back like this, like you're tucked behind it, and then you're forcing one. Bonk, draw and twist. Go slow, like don't go that far. Now, from there, bring your elbow into your body, bring the whole arm across your body. Yes, like that, exactly like that. Yeah.
Okay, so just. I understand. It's hard to.
Yeah, I can see it clicking.
Yeah. Like my mind wants to like turn it the other way.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to bring it back farther than that. Because if you only do it from here, it won't have enough power. It's got to have more more length of travel to get enough movement. Like your fist can touch your shoulder before you let it go.
Oh my god, I'm so like
Or
uncomfortable.
just do it slower and step closer. Or use a longer stick. There's so many options. And if they hit you with insufficient force, you either say light or you say nothing and keep fighting. And so it's not just getting it to the right place on the target, it's got to have enough body behind it to do what's called a telling blow, which is one that the opponent acknowledges as a good enough shot. And anyone can do it. You don't have to be big, you have to have good body mechanics. Again, Bruce Lee, 130 pounds.
Yeah.
There are basically 3 shots in the SCA, and all the angles of them are variants on it. So the onside is one, the offside is the other. The third is the wrap, where you throw a shot forward and it flips over and you hit them with the back edge of the blade. We'll come back to this later, but know that there is a third. And it's weird and complicated, and you don't have to do it on the first day. Let's talk about shields. And most of the shield-using world, like something like this. It's got a strap, it's got a handle. You strap it to your non-sword arm and hold it up like this. I don't particularly like that. I, for a multitude of reasons, like shields with a center grip behind a boss. You use them slightly differently. Part of what I like about them is they can be smaller and therefore lighter, but you have to do more stuff to block with them. As you can see, the one that we have here, which is John's, is like almost twice as big. In the SCA, the target area starts 2 inches above the knee. Part of why these shields are so popular is that you can hang out behind it and cover the entire legal target area. Many people doing this have gotten very, very good at the SCA rules. That it's not how I fight. I was never that good at it. I don't really like it. And I cross-train for a bunch of other sword fighting sports. So all of my shields are centergrips. And that is just sort of something I can do. But, take this. I can still illustrate the general point. When you get your own shield, I recommend in the strongest possible terms, you can take this outside, getting in guard in front of a mirror on a pretty regular basis. And because doing so allows you to see what the opponent sees. So like, the general idea is you want to be covering most of your body. So if you get in front of a mirror, and you look at the mirror and you're like this, you're like, nope, half of me's hanging out. I gotta move. And it will vary from shield to shield and body to body. That's why I recommend the mirror, because this is what you will eventually get used to doing for your shield and your body. And it probably won't be either one of these, because these are not optimized for the SCA rules. Part of why these are so good is because you can just loosen your hand and block your calf, because I use them for forward. You don't have to block your calf in the SCA. So that is an extra feature that they just don't need.
Right.
You can use a bigger one and block more passively and cover everything you gotta cover. But this is what I got to work out right now. I will get more, slightly larger strap points from what people use. But it just hasn't happened yet. Okay. But the general idea is, when someone tries to hit you, you put the shield between yourself and the bad guys, and you don't get hit. The way that you can practice doing this, there's the equivalent of Pell work for this. I recommend doing this in front of a mirror in the strongest possible terms. Because if you're blocking not where you're supposed to be, it's not a block. But what I've done for years and years and years and years is get in front of a mirror, get in guard, and block high on the left, low on the left, high on the right. It doesn't have to be down here, just like this blocks the whole target area, because like swinging in this way will stop before it gets to my twist above the knee. And then you just like do that a bunch of times until it becomes automatic.
Right. Okay.
We are not going to make it become automatic right now. We're gonna get some helmets, and we're gonna hit some.